us for our next film, Trick or Treat.
Trick or treat.
2007, homie. Smell. I will
Give
not
me
smell your feet.
something sweet to eat.
Jesus Christ.
I'm
Anyway.
just turning my camera off from now on.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
All right, no, we're back.
So we have Trick or Treat, which is kind of a pretty underrated horror film. You know, the horror, it feels like just one of these films that really flew under the radar that I feel like a lot of horror fans would love. It's something similar, not on quality for sure, but in the way, if you love Pulp Fiction, you would love Trick or Treat because it's taking that story structure, the non-linear fashion of telling a great story, and just putting it on Halloween night in some suburban town where all these crazy different horror stories are melding together.
I'm going to say, I think they filmed some of those places in South Pasadena, if I'm correct.
I bet they did. That's the place you go.
That's the perfect place for suburban neighborhoods.
Yeah, middle-class white people getting taken.
I know, right?
South Pass.
South Pass.
So the director of this film is Michael Daughtry, who did do Krampus, and he directed Godzilla King of Monsters. And he's working on the story for Godzilla vs. Kong. So
this man has created amazing films.
This guy is a genre lover, obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously.
You know, science fiction. This movie has a comic book motif, which was unexpected to me at first when it opened. It opens.
It kind of reminded me a lot like Kick-Ass and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he was getting his ass kicked within the film. Someone was, at least.
Someone.
The
bus driver.
The bus driver. Yeah, exactly. It opens up with this title sequence in the form of a comic book where like the horror comic books that you can read, like Slayer or something like that. And you just see the movie and how it's going to happen, but you don't know how. You know, it's kind of similar to something like Spider-Man, the way those movies would open up, where you have this creative just look to it. And even some Alex Ross paintings within those. Here you get, I don't remember the artist who did the work at the beginning of the film, but it was really nice. And it was very kind of nostalgic, and it just seemed wholesome, even though it was terribly terrifying. Brian, Trick or Treat, what do you think about it?
Well, what I think about it is, smell my feet. But besides from that, it's a great movie. I've watched it.
It's my birthday, you know, you gotta smell my feet.
I swear. It's a great movie. I've watched it once. Is it one of my favorite horror? No.
It's great.
No, it's not one of my favorite horror movies. It does have a really interesting Pulp Fiction story basis where, you know, it takes you from one side of the story and then takes you into the future and then to the past and then
with negative gimps.
Negative gimps, yeah. But besides from that, it's a very fun movie to watch with friends, I will say. There's a lot of like crazy things that just happen within the story, like kids just letting kids die and stuff. And then I love Sackboy. That's his name, right?
Sackboy from
Sackboy.
Little Big Planet?
from Little Big Planet.
He's the monster in it.
He's the monster, yeah. I love him so much because he's just like, yo, you gotta love Halloween. And if you don't, I'm gonna come kill you. So I think we need him for Gavin Newsom.
Oh my God.
We need that guy, you know.
What are you talking? What did Gavin say?
Because Gavin Newsom doesn't want us to be trick or treating.
Yeah, neither do I. Why do you want to go trick or treating, Brian?
I have baby cousins, man. They just love Halloween.
Protect them. Keep their ass at home.
I know.
Brian. Speaking of South Pasadena and trick or treating, have you been there when it's Halloween night?
I have. It gets crazy.
It gets crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like China over there, you know, with so many people just crowded. People coming in because they know they have the best candy over there.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, it's okay. It's okay. Don't get mad at the governor right now.
I know.
You can get mad at about some other things.
I was going to say, I am kind of a little upset because there's this amazing place I used to go to that used to sell fresh pumpkin cider.
Brian, this is your communist methods in effect for Halloween again.
Because, like, yo, instead of candy, they give you fresh cider, like pumpkin cider.
That's great, but you can wait till next year.
I guess I can always make it myself.
Brian, we're in a pandemic.
I know.
Leave me alone. Jesus, you're asking for trouble. Like, this is why I'm not going to your birthday party because of that shit you just said right there. The governor doesn't want me to get candy. My baby cousins want candy.
Oh my goodness. No, but Melissa's gonna try to convince you, and you should definitely come. But besides from that point,
I'm gonna take Melissa on a date trick or treating, and then she'll get sick.
Watch her watch this video, and then just call you. Watch her block your number after this.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But another thing that the director did.
How do we lose focus so fast?
He wrote X2 and Superman Returns. So that obviously the comic influence is there. Based on this film, you're kind of lukewarm on it. Is there any like comic book character?
A little warm. I just I don't know. Sometimes
cool. It's cool. Yeah,
it's a great film. Yeah,
Yeah, like you could play it on in the background during a Halloween party that you won't be allowed to have because of Gavin Newsom.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what comic book character do you think this guy would really do well directing in a film?
Ooh,
it's not the movie question. It's just something I'd like to know.
No, yeah. I was gonna say, I would love just a sense of style. I actually like to see like just a regular character. So like maybe Lobo.
Low blow.
And low blow. No.
Lobo?
Lobo.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or maybe even what's his name again? Oh, so sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Hey, how you
doing? Grandmother behind me. Hi, Grandma.
Low blow.
Lobo. And actually, I would love to see a film with Blue Beetle. When are we gonna get that?
Blue Beetle and the Booster Gold film, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Get them together in a movie. I think Lobo would be really cool. Tim Miller would be a really dope choice for Lobo. I mean,
or maybe Animal Mineral Vegetable.
Animal Mineral Vegetable Man.
Animal Mineral Vegetable Man. We gotta get like a little sticker that just pops out everywhere saying Animal Mineral Vegetable. I would get that in editing. Just right here.
I will not follow your request.
I know you won't.
But one thing that I think that this guy would do well is Plastic Man. Actually, this movie had a pretty cool sense of humor to it, even though it's a horror movie. It had funny moments and funny imagery, and I think he could cover a plastic man, which is a crazy concept. That could easily be a dark comedy. I'd love to see Michael Daughtry take care of that. I mean, come on now, Brian.
Yeah, come on.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have Plastic Man and Animal Mineral Vegetable Man fighting together.
I'm down with that, actually. That sounds pretty dope. Okay, here's the movie question. Are you ready, Brian?
Yes, movie question. Let's go.
Why do you scapegoat Gavin Newsom for all your No, I'm sure.
Julius, this isn't Joe Rogan. And if it was, hey, Michael, can we get that on camera? I think we have a video about that. Yeah.
Can we get that?
Can we get that? Can we get that on video?
All right.
Can we get it?
Right. Non-linear horror. Do we need more of it? Can it make for more frightening films? What do you think?
So my honest opinion is that I know the reason why people like that sort of sense of like convoluted stuff, and I kind of enjoy it sometimes. It gets a little, for me,
gimmicky?
I like stuff. Oh wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay, I thought you said you couldn't hear me. All right.
No, I said gimmicky. Gimmicky. I was adding.
No, yeah. I like more linear plots sometimes because no. All right. If it's done good, it's done good, and if it's done bad, it's done bad. This movie did it great. Pulp Fiction did it great. Bird Box did it horrible.
I did not see Bird Box.
It is awful. They literally like.
Hey! I know. You're talking about my girl Sandra.
I know.
Lay
Sandra,
off.
I know. Sandra's amazing, but she should have just denied this role.
She was on George Lopez. Back off.
I know. Machine Gun Kelly is in this movie too.
So, for you, a non-linear story done incorrectly, done in a non-effective way, it can get in the way of enjoyment for you.
And even then, that's just like, it's just an opinion, because at the end of the day, it's really hard to do films like that, to like show already what's going to happen to the plot, and then sort of, I mean, it's an interesting sort of like movie class sort of aspect, like, looking at this in a logical sense. But for the regular movie viewer, I think sometimes it hurts people. But
I don't want to do the work. What the fuck is it?
Exactly.
Tenet, what?
Tenet.
Inception. I got to be honest with you. I agree that when it's done well, you get these really oh shit moments, like when you see Vincent Vega get gunned down.
Oh yeah.
And then the next scene, he's dancing with Mia Wallace. That's pretty bizarre, but also really dope. In this film, when you see how everything ties together, it's a really cool, just kind of like choose your own adventure type story. Yeah. Here's an example of a game that tried doing it that I was not a fan of, and I kind of laughed at. Heavy Rain.
Ah, yes. Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain, I just finished playing. It's what it is. It's kind of that choose your own adventure story where you get to, like in the way that the Telltale games, they try to make their movies or their games, work well. And I think they do it much better than this.
I was going to say, I'm playing Borderlands, the Telltale series right now. It's amazing. And now I'm going to move on to Wolf Among Us, which I heard it's like its best one.
And there you go. You're dealing with a high level of quality. And Heavy Rain, I think it falls on its face a lot of the times when it comes to the nonlinear storytelling. And especially when certain aspects come out of nowhere in the game. Like this FBI agent suddenly has these Iron Man-ass glasses where, like, the scene right beforehand, I honestly thought it was set in the 1920s because you're dealing with that private investigator, and his whole getup is like it feels like it's a Gary Cooper film. You know what I mean? And then you cut to a very bizarre sequence where you're playing an FBI agent, and he has this futuristic tech.
And you cut to that awkward scene with you trying to make up with your wife.
Yeah, then, why is this happening? Why are these?
I was gonna say, did you try that interesting Easter egg that I told you about?
I honestly forgot where you said to do it, and I just tried being.
Did you finish the entire game, or?
Well, I got to the end of a story, because I know that there are alternate endings.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, because definitely towards the end of actually, it's for every story. Yeah. But at the end, if you just continually press Sean, your character will just say Sean all the time.
Oh, yeah. I did do that. Sean! Sean!
Oh, yeah. There's a scene where someone was able to break the game early on. So every time they took a poop or took a shower, it just shows your character saying, Sean! 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 And I think they got to the scene with him making up with his wife. And when he's undressing her, he's like, Sean!
That really turns me on. Sean!
Sean!
Well, I remember at the beginning, you're looking for your kid. Oh, yeah. What's his name? Jason? Jason.
Yeah,
That's
Jason.
Jason!
Jason!
And they only have those 2 takes of him saying
Jason?
That game.
Jason!
That's what happens when the French try to do an American detective story.
Yeah.
Think that heavy rain.
Heavy rain.
Fuck out of here.
It's a I don't know why people still like it. I mean, it's a very like one of those you can laugh at kind of game.
I think that's why. That's why. Because I had a great time when the game's broken, like really broken. Like the controls are ass, and whenever these face models go like, I had these things where the text would start blinking on screen, and like, don't play this game if you're prone to seizures, honestly. But anyway, that's something that's an example of nonlinear storytelling in a horror type setting, because that game kind of tries to achieve horror levels.
It's close to a thriller, but at some aspects it's very hard.
It's horrific because it was just like
I was gonna say, sidebar, Detroit Become Human is amazing.
I gotta play that. I'm sure it's much better.
Fun. Sebastian gave it to me for free, so I've been playing that.
Really?
Yeah, I went through the peaceful route as much as I can until the very end, where I almost became like a robot dictator, and then I actually went back to peaceful, and I had a nice ending. Everyone lived in my game. No one died. I think I got one of my main characters killed, but the couple lives. They were able to keep the kid. Your guy gets a girlfriend, which was super hard because she wants to kill people, and it's like so hard if you don't want to kill people, but she wants to kill people. And then the other alternative is some guy who doesn't want to kill people, and it's like, but I like the girl.
I like
because I'm straight.
One thing I want to say before we move on to our next
of course.
film about Heavy Rain is that the FBI agent looks like Tobey Maguire on heroin.
Oh my god, he does.
The GOAT Podcast is proof you don't have to look any further for movie news, reviews, trailer reactions, or special discussions. Subscribe, get notified about what's going on, and I promise you'll be entertained by our daily content on YouTube. If you want more, we're on Twitter at GOAT Film Podcast, Instagram The GOAT Podcast, and the GOAT Movie Group on Facebook. Get connected with us, see what's happening, and make sure to love it while you're doing so.